when you pay attention to the breath, especially when you're told to experiment with different kinds of breathing. There's sometimes a tendency to tense up around the breath. You create a shell around the body, and the shell breathes in, the shell breathes out. It's very tense, very tight. That's not how you should imagine it. Think of the breath extending beyond the body. The breath energy is outside the other elements. It wraps them like a big cocoon, and you're wearing the breath. Then just allowing that outside breath to come and penetrate the body. From wherever it's going to penetrate, you don't have to determine beforehand. In fact, you want to explore and see, when you erase some of your preconceived notions about the breath, where do you actually feel it? That way the breath becomes more interesting, less of a control issue, more of an issue of exploring. Because that's what we're doing as we meditate, as we train the mind in general. We're exploring what happens to the mind when you try to focus on one object and try to do it in a way where you feel at ease with your object, but not so easy that the mind slips off. Here again, people will say they don't like the word concentration because it sounds too tight. But think of it as meaning literally having a center. And you're coming from the center. You're not bearing down on the center, but you're coming from the center. Don't let anything knock you off. In John Cha's image, you're in a house that has one big chair. You're sitting in the big chair, and as long as you're in the chair, you're in charge. Everyone else in the house has to stand. It's when they come in and push you out of the chair or lure you out of the chair, and then they get in the chair and they order you around. That's when you're in trouble. So you're right here. Any thoughts that come in, they have to have your permission to stay. Otherwise, they'll just go on their own. It's when you get entangled with them. That's when they hang around. So have some openness in your meditation. Think of the body as being covered with pores, which it actually is. And the breath energy can come in and out any pore anywhere in the body. See what that perception does. Because we're training our perceptions as we meditate. As the Buddha said, the various levels of concentration all the way up through the perception of nothingness. Our perception attainments, they depend on having a perception. And your quest is to find what kind of perception is the most conducive to getting the mind to settle down. If the parts of the body that seem like a little can of worms, okay, erase that perception. Have a perception of breath energy as being more englobing, more around you. And as it goes into the body, it dissolves away any attempt to start wiggling here, wiggling there. It just dissolves these things away. You find that the meditation becomes a lot lighter. Your sense of the body becomes a lot lighter. It's a lot easier to stay here. That's the whole point of concentration. You're trying to get it so that it's easy to stay. The mind is inclined to want to stay. Because when you stay, that's when you can start seeing things that are going on at a deeper level that you would miss otherwise. So make this a good place to stay. And you do that by the way you breathe, but also more importantly by the way you conceive what's happening as you breathe. Your relationship to the breath. Wear the breath. Feel like you're bathed by the breath. You don't have to create any clear dividing lines between the in-breath and the out-breath. It all flows together. See what those perceptions can do. And if they don't help, well, what perception would be helpful? You're free to experiment. And that way the meditation becomes a lot more enjoyable. And you learn a lot more.